I'm Martin Whatson. I'm from Norway and I'm here in Monaco for UPAINT festival.
I think I was a very quiet and shy and reserved kid. Maybe a little bit of contrast to what I am now, but maybe if you ask my mother it's different, but yeah, that's what I feel.
My parents were both inspirations in a few ways, and my mother she has no artistic genes in her body, so she can't draw, she can't do anything like that, but she's always been interested in art, so she kept taking me to museums everywhere. If you go on holiday, yeah, so everywhere we went, she was like the one that took me to museums. My father and my sister, they went to do other stuff and we went to the museums. And then my father was always the one to introduce me into art, but she was the one that introduced me into fine art in many ways. So yeah, so it's a nice symbiosis between the two, like one for inspiration, another one for actual like technique and everything. I rode the subway to my friend's house like a couple years, and then every day like the work along, like the graffiti along the subway changed, so it was like an ever-changing gallery, and that eventually led me into doing graffiti, and then that took me into street art, and then now I mix both. But if we're thinking street art, what I painted first was probably like a stick man or something, but in street art it was definitely something very cliche, like a tank or Che Guevara or Gandhi or something like that. I did start with just graffiti, and then I started doing like more character-based stuff, so like faces and heads and figures and stuff. And then after a while I got into stencils, and I think I borrowed a Banksy book from a friend of mine, and she'd been in like the Tate Modern in London and bought a couple Banksy books. I was like, oh shit, this is like really nice stuff. So I did stencils for many years, like 4 or 5 years. I just did stencils, no mix of graffiti, just like plain gray or plain blue backgrounds. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe I need to bring in my background from graffiti into it. So I started taking like my old tags, my like things that's inspired me. Like you have the Keith Haring crown, you have stars, you have an old there's old drawings that I did back like 20 years ago. So I try to bring like inspirations from things I see on the street or things I created on the street before, and then put them into these works. So yeah. I'm trying to be like, at least I can just talk for me, but I'm trying to be like spread as wide as possible, but I don't know. I think
I mean it's interest that comes first, what you are focused on, and then it doesn't matter like where you take your...
I don't know. My inspiration comes from like several different countries and several different people and several different cultures. So the Nordic like street art culture is like harder, it's like rougher around the edges. Then you have like, you see a lot of the Spanish people, they paint like more fine stuff or with brush, or the French people have a different style, and I don't know, it's just influences where you're coming from. Yeah. The moment I decided to go full-time as an artist really changed, not me as a person, but my like artistic career. And I guess you felt the same the moment you quit your day job, and yeah, it changes the whole dynamic in the way you work. But then
you also have to do it in order to like focus and manage to live from it.
Yeah, but I guess in many ways like becoming an artist was like a dream for me, but then when you become an artist full-time, it kind of becomes the job as well. So you have to adjust your dreams a little bit, and then have a pretty good life, so I can't really complain about anything. No big dreams, but other than, yeah, don't have to go back to the shopping mall job. Nothing wrong with that, but it was never my dream. I stopped doing illegal graffiti now, but people risk a lot of, like, they risk fines, jail, a lot of things to do the stuff that they do, and then most people hate what they're doing. And that really fascinates me, that someone actually sacrificed so much to do exactly what they want. Street art, and especially for stencils, the idea is to, you spend the time inside, you go outside, it's like,
yeah,
and then you can go, and it's very, yeah. So it's made for it's made for making works very quickly, and yeah, I try to, even though I have like 3 days to paint this wall, I try to replicate the thing that it's supposed to go fast, it's supposed to be rough, it's supposed to be like look like it's made on the street or whatever, or it's coming from the street. So
it's
like,
not all well done and all correct.
No,
yeah, I'm more like that. I mean, like trying to do, you know, because. But
when I paint the canvas as well, the idea I have is that it's something that you pull out from a bigger wall, and like a square from a bigger wall, and and it's interesting to paint this way, because I normally don't do this in my studio.
Yeah.
I don't paint the whole. No. I just paint the canvas, or like just a little bit around. But yeah, this makes like.
Because you can keep other parts. And they will work too.
Yeah.
I mean, they will work as a canvas.
But yeah, it's made as one big piece. Then the two individual is made as their own pieces. So yeah. In art, it's easier to talk about art than if you don't know. If you don't know art, then it's hard to know what to talk about. But yeah.
And for me, it's easy because we are watching his artwork. So.
Learn some basics in art, like color theory, composition, and things like that. But you don't have to study fine art, or you don't have to do this. But it's a difference between being creative and being a good painter. So you can be the best painter in the world, but then you can have no good ideas, or you can have no how to touch people. You can be an artist, and I do really think it's more than being able to communicate with people than actually being the best painter. Art is for everyone. It's not just for the elite, or it's not just for this people or this people, but yeah, I think that's creating and touching someone in a way is better than not touching anyone. And by that I mean, you can be positive or negative. I'd rather have people hate my art than not care about my art, you know? I think all artists should strive to create an emotion in people, not just a pretty picture. I have been working with preservation of nature and animals and things like that for a while, and then like this, the fact that this goes for the Prince Albert Foundation, like fits very nicely with my work. So like these two birds live in southern France, and they're on the threatened list. So they're both in danger of being extinct. Like the graffiti is kind of a comment on what humans are doing to nature or to the environment around us, and the mark that we set on the environment and the world around us. And I guess like mixing the threatened birds with like expression that graffiti is, it's kind of like, I mean, I don't like to do very strong messages. I like to hide things inside, but it was important to use something like local for southern France here. That's it? Oof, so easy.